Cutting out of that for some breaking news that we are getting on CNN News 18. The days before Congress presidential polls takes place, sources have told CNN News 18 that MP Shashi Tharoor has now written a letter to the AICC requesting that the electoral rolls should now be publicized. So taking that very discourse forward that was started by Congress MP Manish Tiwari, claiming that there needs to be transparency when it comes to the electoral rolls, and the people who are going to be in the fray when it comes to the presidential polls, that needs to be made public. There has to be some sort of discrepancy. There has to be some sort of transparency that needs to be actually followed when it comes to the electoral rolls. And now we are learning that Shashi Tharoor has written a letter to the AICC requesting that the electoral rolls should be published. My colleague Pallavi now joins us on the broadcast. Pallavi, taking that very discourse forward, what had started, where the G23 faction of the Congress are really claiming that there needs to be ample transparency. Now there seems to be some movement when it comes to Shashi Tharoor writing this letter, possibly to AICC?
Yes, and in fact, he written it to Mr. Madhusudan Mistry, who's in charge of the election process for the Congress presidential polls. And if you remember, this is something which not just Shashi Tharoor, but Anand Sharma raised, Manish Tiwari, all of them raised, that unless you don't know who your voters are, how do you even put forward your nomination? This is even though there has been speculation that either Mr. Tharoor or someone from the G23 may be contesting the Congress presidential elections. Now, as far as Mr. Madhusudan Mistry is concerned, he's been very open about the fact that the entire process is transparent. Anyone who wants to know who the electors are just has to go to a state Congress office and they're going to get the list there.
All right. Pallavi, thank you so much for joining us with all those details. Let me also take this across to my colleague Neetu, who's also joining us on the broadcast. Neetu, very, very crucial timing. Just before the presidential polls are about to take place, has this letter been written by Shashi Tharoor?
Yes, that's correct. Very crucial. Just before the elections, what we understand through sources is that Dr. Tharoor has already written a letter to AICC. They're requesting them to publish the voters' list. So that is something which he has earlier been open also when we asked about him on what he has to say about what Manish Tiwari said. There also he has been pretty open, stating that, see, this is something which everybody wants and there is nothing wrong in being transparent about it. Tharoor has been vocal about these elections that needs to happen, and he said that this will actually draw a lot of attention to the party. And one thing that we also need to notice is that though there have been a lot of speculations related to whether Tharoor will contest for this, when we ask pointed questions, Tharoor has not yet denied that he will not be contesting. What he is saying at this moment is that he has not yet decided. So once he decides, he will let everyone know about what his decision is. So far, the answer coming from Tharoor when we asked him about this is that, everyone is free to speculate, but as far as he is concerned, he has not yet decided. At the same time, there is no blatantly saying that, no, he will not be contesting. So that is quite a possibility, is what we are understanding, and they are expecting a response from the AICC at this moment to his letter is what we are understanding.
All right, Neetu, leaving it at that, thank you so much for joining us. So days before the Congress presidential polls about to take place, now we are learning that Shashi Tharoor has written a letter to the AICC requesting that the electoral rolls should be publicized. A big development when it comes to this particular story and the movement that's happening within the Congress party. It's